Welcome to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm John, back with my bestie, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. How's the mom brain doing?
I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, it's real. I'll tell you that much. It's
Is it?
so real. Yeah.
Well, we have a three-time games winner champion with us, Dallin Pepper. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good.
I was asking Nikki about her mom brain because I'm wondering how much she's going to remember and forget about you as we get into this. And just
Oh
giving
my
you
God. LOL, like I could ever forget. Dallin and I go way back.
Way back. All the interviews.
All the interviews. I posted, God, this feels like forever ago. I think it was maybe your first year as an individual, your last year as a teen. I can't even remember, but I had to go back in my phone and find photos of us through the years since you were 15.
Yep.
It was like, here's me and Dallin when he's 15. Here's me and Dallin when he's 16. Here's us when he's 17. And I'm just not on that. I'm like, wow, I'm so old. That's what I realized when I texted your dad and I was like, hey, do you have any pictures of us from when Dallin was like 15 or 16? He was like, yeah, I have a bunch. I was like, wow, I am the old lady. That's wild.
Well,
damn it.
I remember the specific pictures from when I was 15, but yeah, it's a good time.
I know.
Here's how old I feel, Nikki. So I went back to look. So he was the eighth interview or the eighth episode of this original podcast. And in that time, he's gone on to, compete with the big boys at the games and, semis. He's gotten married, got a job and got his own programming and all these, spinning all these plates within CrossFit. It's like, how did that happen in 3 years? Like, I feel like I've done nothing with my life in 3 years. This guy's gone out and gotten married and
all that in 3 years?
yes.
Probably.
Ew, gross. Dallin, do you sleep? Come on, man.
A lot. I sleep a lot.
Actually, it's quite important to your recovery.
Yeah.
That's wild. But I do get what John's saying. And I do feel like it's been cool watching you grow and evolve, kind of like in the public eye through CrossFit. And I won't even harp too much on the fact that I know you're a super accomplished athlete, even outside of the world of CrossFit, but I know that you've been making moves and doing big things. And so I'm excited to have you on to talk a little bit about where you're at right now. Cause I hear that there's a move in a training camp in your future pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, we're moving. Let's see, from now, it'll be about 2.5 months. So we're going to try and move out. Our move-in date will be the 2nd or 3rd of January. We're going to Naples, Florida, and that will become Brute Strength headquarters. And some of my best friends are coming out to train, and I could not be more excited.
That is going to be so different.
Yes.
On so many levels. I mean, obviously having other really skilled athletes around you, and I want you to get into the roster and how you guys all work out together and all that, but just in and of itself, this will be your first time moving out away from home, right?
Yeah. So I did a year ago. I was at school at Utah State University. I did go in person, and that's 2 hours from home, but 36-hour drive to a 2-hour drive, not really the same. So yeah, this is the first time I've really will be away from home, which is definitely gonna be hard with my family. I realized that's the number one thing, but they've been extremely supportive, and I could not I'm so stoked. I cannot wait to get there.
So they're cool. Papa Pepper's cool with his son being 36 hours away. For real?
Every once in a while they'll be like, oh wait, maybe you shouldn't move, maybe you shouldn't, but we'll have an extra bedroom for him, and so we're gonna get him out there to come visit quite a bit.
Cool. And you've got a stacked little field of athletes out there in that Bruce training camp, huh?
Yeah. So the people that are making the move, it'll be me, Emma Carey. Everyone knows Emma. James Sprague. He's a goofball. Everyone knows him too. And
his dad.
Yes, and his dad. The greatest people I've ever met. Phil Toon. He competed in the LCQ with me. I think this last year was his first real competitive year, and he's a freak. He's so strong and extremely fit. He won the Wadapalooza qualifier just barely. So
Yes, he did excellently in the last chance qualifier. There was a point in time where he was in the running for one of the top spots. And I remember doing a virtual interview with him and being like, "Who are you?
Yeah, I think
Who are you? You're so good at CrossFit."
I think he was winning after the first 2 workouts the first day. So he's a stud. And then my training partner currently in Salem, Utah, Ethan Tate, will also be making the move. He'll be living with James. So
mainly the young bucks, with the exception of Phil. Is that right?
Phil's like 22 or 23. So
oh my God,
ancient.
and he's the old one.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So old. Oh my God.
Yep. So
Oh,
pretty young field that'll be out there.
Oh my God, my brain just exploded. Ew.
That's when you start doing stuff with your life, Nikki. You remember what it was like when you were 24, which wasn't that long ago for you. For me, it was 25 years ago. So I barely remember.
It was kind of a long time. It was almost a decade ago.
Okay, well, maybe you're old too, but
no shit. Gross.
I think it's awesome. I love watching people like you go for. It's amazing to me how you can go from being a teen and like I think the last time we spoke, at least on the air, you were straight up teen, dude. Like you know, and like watching you mature and grow, and like I ran into you in Vegas, and I was like, have you grown 4 feet and put on like 40 pounds? Like you're huge.
Lots of weight.
Yeah, it's really fun for me to watch. You know, that's why I love the teens so much. Like it's so much fun watching you guys come up and improve. And you see someone like Emma, who we've been watching for a number of years, and I'm excited she's going to be training with you because, you know, we watched her go from, you know, being a very good athlete to being world class in just a couple of years. It's so exciting, you know?
Yeah, I'm stoked to train with her. She's on a whole new level physically as well as mentally. And just being able to bounce ideas off each other's head and learn from each other. I'm really stoked about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what does it do to you to kind of like really immerse yourself in that kind of training environment? Because you've come so far without it. So now that you're getting there, like, what do you suspect will change?
I think, so I've been thinking like this year before this got finalized, like early into this year, like I hate to say it, but I think I needed some change, which I don't want to sound ungrateful for what I have because I literally have the best environment. I have 2 gyms that will take care of anything I need at all. And like, I love them and it's going to be extremely hard to leave, but like just trying to switch it up a little bit can keep you on your toes, keep your schedule right. And I think something like that will be really beneficial to me and my career. And I mean, I'm in a spot now where like training is my number 1 priority, and being there with people that are like-minded in the gym the same amount of time, even more resources when it comes to coaches, massage therapists, all of that stuff, having them all in one place, everything's going to be easier to get that stuff done. The process obviously won't be easier, but it's all so available.
So are you switching? Are you going to be in school still, or is this going to be like the full-time gig?
I switched to part-time school starting the semester. I was able to, I'll still graduate like the same time as everyone else my age, just because I did a whole bunch in high school. And then my first 2 semesters,
of course you did.
I just grinded it out. And so it made sense to like take advantage of some opportunities and kind of slow down in that area, but still keep chipping away.
So because I feel like you're the next generation of CrossFit athlete, like John said, we watched you come up as a teen, and you're kind of the first type of athlete that we're seeing entering into the professional level right at the time where you like normally would enter into the workforce or whatever and try to make this your full-time gig. So I'm so curious, like, how do you figure out like how to make money in the sport, how to live off of this, how to get your schedule right so that you can make this your full-time job? Like, how do you navigate that? No one's ever done it before, really, at your age.
Yeah. So first, I've been incredibly blessed with some like great opportunities, but it really started from a young age. Like I've loved business, and like I think back to like even elementary school, and like I was trading the cool like mechanical pencils for like other cool ones. Like I had like 3 crayon boxes full, and I was like in this little business of having the coolest pencils. So I've always kind of had that business mindset. So when I was 15, I created a muscle up program and just like would DM people on Instagram like, hey, do you want to try this muscle up program? And I made like a couple bucks here and there. And then that slowly grew. I kept creating more programs, and I started doing some one-on-one coaching. And that was enough, like for a high school kid who didn't ever go out anyway. Like I spent all my time at the gym to get a little savings account going. And then as things have gone on, that's grown. And then I started working with Cooper Marsh. He's my agent.
We love Coop.
Coop's the best. Coop's a stud. We started working together 2 years ago. So it was towards the beginning of my senior year of high school. And he has set me up, and like I would not be where I am without him in the situation I am. So
Wait, I am fairly certain, and we'll have to ask your dad, but I am fairly certain that I gave Joe Coop's info at games 2 years ago.
there is a chance. I also know.
Don't quote me on this, but I feel like maybe we cut this from the show if this is wrong. But I feel like he was like, Dallin's about to like graduate high school, and I don't know how to navigate whatever. And I was like, I know a guy.
I do remember you telling. I do think I remember you telling us about Coop, but I also know ESC Sounds, Harry over there.
Yeah, Harry's great.
He also got us in contact with him too. So I think there was like 2 ways, and it was like, oh, I remember. Yeah, I specifically remember ESC Sounds, and you told me about Coop, and I was like, all right, he must be the real deal.
So do I get a cut of your earnings? That's the real question. Is there like a kickback for putting the right people in touch with the right people? No, yes. It was important. It was important to talk about. And I'd actually love to get Coop on the show at some point to discuss this too, because I know that there's really funky rules when you're a teen athlete about like what kind of sponsorships you can get. And you like, this is not going to be totally right, but it's something along the lines of like, you can't necessarily accept money for a CrossFit type sponsorship if you want to play college sports. Like if you get accepted money, they won't let you play college sports or something along those lines. So like there's difficult waters to navigate, and I know it's tricky.
Yeah. So at that point, so my senior year, I decided like I'm not going to play college sports. I'm going all in on CrossFit. So that's why we started that. But this summer we saw the name, likeness, and image rules change for all collegiate athletes. And so I know a couple other teens like have signed with agents. They're getting some deals, and that's honestly great for all collegiate athletes because they should be able to make money using their name. But it's also great for the sport of CrossFit because it's going to allow these teenagers to just keep training through. Like while we're in high school, our only responsibility is like getting our homework done. And so if we can continue to limit those responsibilities, we're just going to see higher level of athletes.
Have you guys watched Bad Sport on Netflix yet?
I've not seen it. I'm still in the middle of Squid Game. Don't get me off Squid Game.
Ooh, I actually haven't watched, and I don't think I'm going to.
I'm on the last episode. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I'm at the end. I'm very excited to see how this thing's
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I'm in episode 7. I don't even know how many episodes there are, but I think I'm getting there.
You're close. I think there are 8. I think I paused the last one to come do this. So you guys are keeping me from Squid Game right now.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I just can't, unpopular opinion, but I'm just, it's a little dark for me right now.
Definitely dark.
Yeah.
It is very dark. I would like to say that I'm very excited that you joined the Innovate family.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Like that was kind of like the big thing that's been in the works this fall. I've worn their shoes in the past for like years. Like Fran reached out to me. I want to say it was honestly right after my first CrossFit games, and I got a pair of shoes, and like I'd wear them off and on, wear different shoes, and kind of the stars aligned. I was wearing a pair at the games, and I'm spacing his name, but Fury Photography on Instagram.
Ronaldo.
Yes. He DM'd me. He was like, hey, I saw you wearing the 300s at the games. Let's do a little more talking. And their shoes are amazing. I'm stoked.
Dude, Fran is awesome.
Yes.
And when the day before they were announcing you as an athlete, I pushed stuff out for them, and they send me your photo, and they go, hey, this is coming out tomorrow. And they didn't tell me who it was. I'm like, I recognize that butt and that pasty white and that pasty white skin. I know who that is. So I messaged Fury, and I'm like, hey, is that Dallin Pepper? He's like, yep, absolutely. I'm like, all right, I won't spoil the surprise, but then I message you. I'm like, it's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, okay, first of all, it's not even fair that the Innovate rep for all this CrossFit stuff is named Fran. Are we just going to
Yeah.
glaze right over that? Like how did the stars align for that?
It does make us all kind of hate her a little bit for that reason, but she's a sweetheart. She's so nice.
I
Yeah,
believe
she's
it. I
awesome.
believe it.
Yeah, you can't hate her, but you got to hate the name.
Yep.
Hate the name, not the player, I guess.
So that's one way, right? Like the sponsorships and the ways
Mhm.
to sort of like get your name out there. That's got to help
Yep.
give you the confidence to build a career around this sport.
Absolutely. And without like that, going into my senior year, things were definitely tricky. And I think this is where we see a lot of teenagers fall off. I guess I haven't really talked about this before on a podcast, but like making the transition from the teenage division into the individual, especially as a male athlete, we've seen has been extremely challenging.
Mhm.
That's taking nothing away from some of the female athletes because they are beasts. But it's typically slower for some of the male individual athletes. So there's that fear. And then there's also the fear of like, I have to make money somehow. And so when Coop came in and like, that just gave me all the confidence in the world that things would work out how they needed to. And so at that point, I went all in with my training, and it's paid off. So
What impresses me about you is, and why I think you're having so much success, is your humility, and maybe
Mm.
why you're moving faster than some of your relative peers into it. Like, it was funny, you'd had obviously a ton of success as a teen athlete, and then you move in with the big boys. And when I ran into you in Vegas, I think you were in the lead that day. Like, we're going into day 2, and you'd killed day 1. And I was so excited to see you. I'm like, how are you feeling? And you were so humble. Like, there was I can't wait to go out there and whip these guys' butts. It was just like, I'm taking it one workout at a time, see how I can do, and for me, that's always the sign of someone who's going to do really well in the future. Like, people that can recognize, that are humble, usually recognize their own weaknesses and are able to work on them. And I guess kind of the question from that is, we also see that in Emma Carey, even at her young age. Do you think that's a reflection of the way, you have a terrific family? We know Emma's family. Her family's unreal. Is it a reflection of that, or is it just how you think you guys are wired as games athletes?
I think I know Emma's family and my family are both amazing. I do think it has a huge role in how we were raised. And James, I don't know Phil well enough yet, so I'm not gonna like get into that. But same with James. Like, obviously Phil's extremely humble. I don't mean to take that away, but I don't know his family. I think the way we're raised and the coaches we're surrounded by, and we choose to surround ourselves with each other, knowing we do have these weaknesses, but like James makes me more fun, more social, and more outgoing. And Emma is extremely stoic in the way she thinks, and just extremely grateful for every painful workout. And I'm really trying to work on that. And so just by like surrounding ourselves with each other, I think we grow. And so I think it's a little bit of both, like our families and who we want to be as we continue to grow.
I think too, like so much dedication at such a young age, like it teaches you to focus in a way that if you didn't grow up playing team sports, you got to be at practice, and you got to do well at school so you can stay on the team, and you got your teammates relying on you. Like, it builds a different level of dedication, I think, from an early age that you guys obviously are able to springboard off of as you get older, as the stakes get higher, kind of.
No, for sure.
How are you balancing this with being married? That's like,
that's a full-time job, in and of itself.
Like, come on, it's a lot.
Yeah, that is because I have the greatest wife in the whole world.
She's in the room, isn't she?
Yeah.
She is. I don't even know where she is. She's somewhere. I think she was watching our niece. Yeah, I mean, it's easier with her. Like, I think I always had my mom kind of like made sure I had food, and like if I need to talk or just any of that kind of stuff, like emotional support as well. And she's just like kind of filled in that role with zero issues. Like, there's like no obstacles in the way she filled that role. And it showed at West Coast. Like, we both learned a lot. That was the first competition. Like she was my person. We had our own hotel. Like, my family wasn't there when normally they are. And I mean, she crushed it. She's amazing.
That's awesome. And she's kind of switching gears too, right? To like be a little bit in more a little bit more in your world.
Yes, and I think that's how she would word it too, honestly. I mean, from her sophomore year in high school, she was going to do a radiology program, go to school, be a radiologist, whatever that entails. I don't know the details there. But I got off the phone with my coach, Matt, and I believe this was probably May or June. And we decided we want to do the training camp in Florida, and she just kind of dropped those plans. And she had just been accepted into a very good radiology program like a week before. So I know that was extremely difficult for her. And she pivoted. She's doing nutrition coaching and I mean, just helping me out in any way, and extremely grateful for that. And she's also extremely grateful with the route that we are going now. She's having way more fun, and it's been good.
Well, you got to take the opportunities as they come. You know, no
Yep.
one's saying like drop your dreams. That's not what's going on here. But it's like, hey, we could really do this right now. You have so much time, such a runway ahead of you to do more things in the future. That I think that's rad. Follow every opportunity. Now, if my kid grows up and gets accepted into a program and drops it a week later, he won't survive the next day. But
Hey,
you
look.
guys remind me of this moment when that happens.
Her mom and just like that's like her sister's in nursing school, and like that's kind of the route all her family has taken. And so at first they were a little like, what are you doing? Like, you just got accepted. But they've been super supportive, and they're stoked for us, and it's been fun.
Cool.
Like you both could change what you're doing with your lives 3 times in your life, or 4 times. Like I've changed my careers 3 times in my life, and look at me, I'm a meme lord now. So
I guess I have to. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like there's the life of an athlete, knock on wood, it's going to be super long for you, but the life of most athletes is 10 years or so, and then you go on to other careers, so often in fitness, but it could be other things, and they're all rewarding. I guess that's the point is, it's like strike while the iron's hot, man, and you're killing it.
And then you can always go back to hucking mechanical pencils if you need to.
Seriously.
Easy, totally easy.
The pencil empire of Naples, Florida. That's what they're going to be.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So, question: did you? And this is, feel free to not answer this if this is a little too whatever. But did you catch any flack for getting married so young? Because it came as a shock to, and I've known you for years. It came as a shock to me. I was like, oh damn, he grown. It's happening.
No, for sure. And that's totally okay. Just because and honestly, I probably wouldn't have been able to say this months ago, but like, I'm extremely confident in what I believe and who I am. And that's what I felt was right. And no one else needs to support that if they don't want to. And the ones who don't support it, they don't really matter. Like, as harshly as Cooper sent me a text just like that, talking about getting married. And he's like, if they don't support it, like, they don't matter. So, and that's how it is.
I love that attitude. I'm fully going to adopt that the next time someone tells me I have a big nose on Instagram. Like, y'all, if you don't like it, you don't matter.
Just let me attack them. That's fun for me.
Also true. Yeah, you can swoop in and kill. Well, you can tell them that they don't matter.
Well, I can do that too. Well, I think it matters. I'm excited for you. I mean, as much as I make fun of being the divorce guy on the show, I think it's great when people find love young and they know who they are and what they want to be and all of that. Have you guys settled your minds into how different Florida is than where you live now? Because there's a subtle difference between Utah and Florida.
Yes. And like being like, we know Utah, that's like Church of Jesus Christ, like most of the people here. She lived in Wyoming and Montana. And so like when it comes to that, we're totally fine. But yes, in all the other ways, Florida and Utah are very different. And I'm going to miss all the mountains that I'm looking at right now. So.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Florida definitely does not have the mountains. The mosquitoes are the size of bald eagles. So that'll be fun for you. You'll also have to probably start competing with alligators or whatever else, and tons of snakes. Like the South is not a lot of fun in that regard, but
it'll be a good experience though.
The heat alone, right? Like, isn't that going to be a totally different training environment?
So I was thinking that too. And I was really nervous because like I already sweat a lot. So the humidity's not going to help. But my coach came out for the LCQ, which was like over the 4th of July.
Yep.
And it's hot here. And he he pointed out that it feels way hotter here. Just like direct sunlight type heat. I don't know if it's the elevation, the dry heat, but he said it doesn't even feel that hot in Florida. It's just more humid. So it'll be an adjustment, but
I think it gives you an advantage. I mean, if you look at other sports, I'm probably being way generalistic here, but I think in college football, all the great college football teams are Southern teams typically.
Yeah.
Or kids that have come from South. And it's not because the South's amazing. It's because they can train year round.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a difference for you. Like, it snows a little bit in Utah, snows a little bit in Wyoming and that part of the country. And it doesn't snow in Florida. You only have to deal with hurricanes and those come and go. So it's, you can get outside and do the things. So, a good example of that is you guys had that horrific run at the Vegas event where you're outside in the heat. And that's not something you can simulate in Utah. I don't care how hard you try. You can't simulate it. You could simulate that in Florida to some degree.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, that was one of the pros, like my coach was thinking about like where we should do it. And like, we can train year round outside with whatever implements we need in Naples. So
didn't James win that run or come close to winning that run?
He was winning the run for like 3.9 laps and then Cole Sager passed him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a really funny video and it's funny to mess with him now, but it was a little touchy for a month or so.
Ooh, well, I mean, if you're gonna get beat by anyone, at least it's, I was gonna say one of the best athletes in the sport, but also like one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest videos. You should definitely go look at it after. He passes him like James was winning coming back into the arena and then Cole passed him.
That's right. It was like a race to the end. Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah,
that's a fun video to watch. Probably not fun for him, but as a spectator, it's fun.
Yes, this is a good time.
So what's next for you competition wise? What are you training for right now?
I just unofficially qualified for Wadapalooza. I took third in the qualifier. We're just waiting video reviews and that type of thing, but we should be good. I try and move really well. So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
You just did the Zealous games too, right?
Yeah, I did.
I saw your name on that. How'd you finish?
Yeah. Week 1 went great. Week 2, not so much. I did it live for like the live announcement, like the first people to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do a round every 90 seconds, 20-minute AMRAP. And 3.5 minutes in, I finished my third round. And so it was rough.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious. I talked to a couple of games athletes last night about this. And so I'd be curious on your opinion now that this is really your full-time gig. How are you feeling about the change in format, specifically around these events that have big payouts, but they're invite only? Like it had never occurred to me that they had that, but now that Rogue and Dubai are both invite only, that's a real interesting dynamic for those of you that are trying to earn a living doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think there's like 2 takes on it. I was disappointed I didn't have a chance to fight for a spot at Rogue just because I think that's one of the coolest competitions, but also understand like those athletes earned it with past accomplishments or whether how they did this year. But in general in the sport, like the CrossFit Games is what we look at, and that's what everyone should be. I mean, that's what everyone's training for. So like you got to go prove yourself there. And then once you've proven yourself, you'll continue to have these opportunities. And there's still other competitions like Wadapalooza, where you still can earn a little bit of cash, but I mean, nothing should be handed to you. And yes, even if it's a qualifier, but like earning it throughout the CrossFit Games season, I don't think is awful.
Yeah,
of course you don't. It's the humblest answer.
I
of
know.
Course. I wanted him to be like, this is bullshit. I got it. Whatever.
That was the reaction I got last night. That's why I was over for. I didn't get it tonight.
Well, I will say that this is Dubai hasn't always been invite only in the past. Mm-hmm. And I know that, the pandemic has something to do with that, where they're just trying to control and limit who's coming from where and how, and they know way ahead of time, like what athletes to expect. So like, I don't think that that'll be, I mean, what do I know? But I doubt that we would see that forever in the future from an event like that. But I hear where you would be coming from if you were like kind of miffed that like, here I am trying to make money in this sport and I really think I could win an event or do whatever.
But then you also have to like, the people that are making money in the sport, like they should be at the games anyway. So,
True.
I mean, at this point, like you should be competing at the CrossFit Games if you're going to keep making money in the sport.
I
And
see. Yeah.
if you're not at the CrossFit Games, you're probably not going to go and win Rogue or Dubai, in my opinion.
It's a little chicken and eggy,
Yeah.
like goes around. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with them making it invite only. I mean, it's their events to run and they're cool events. I think for me, I would just like to see more events like that, like Wadapalooza, that you can qualify for. Like I would like to see more people be able to earn a living at this, and there to be real prize purses. And but there's the the guy me that's a banker that sits around going, these events are expensive to run and they're hard to they don't make a lot of money, so it's hard to pay out a lot of money. So I get it, and it's a young sport. I would just love to see there be 6 to 10 events where you guys could have a circuit throughout the year, competing for money, and then the games is the prize.
Hopefully once COVID calms down, whenever that may be, like we can get some more events. It'll be easier to travel to. I know Europe's doing a lot of events. It's just not getting a lot of attention here. Right. Like they had one last weekend. I think there's one coming up soon.
They just did Madrid, right?
Yeah.
That was one of them.
Roman won that, didn't he? Is that right?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's also having a baby, you guys. All the cool kids are doing it. Not you. You're too young.
Not me. No, yeah. Stoked for Roman. But like, hopefully, I would love to see another like US based or Canada even like Wadapalooza. So like, we'll keep Rogue. It's like the Rogue Invitational. Like it's one of the most prestigious competitions. Let's keep that invite and then allow Wadapalooza and say another competition. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are my like random thoughts.
I would really love to see. I mean, if I were running the show, if I were Eric Rosa, I look like him anyway.
Almost.
I know. I'd love to see bigger payouts at semis. I think, guys like yourself that, nothing's a guarantee, but I think you're a lock for semis. Like you're a damn good athlete. So there should be payouts for that. Top 10, top 20, whatever, like significant money, something that makes it worthwhile to really get there besides getting to the games. Right. And obviously an increase in games prize money would be a help. And then I think there should be a few other things along the way, like, CrossFit's doing these online events that they're probably funding the games with, like they're running one right now, I think, that I'm not a part of. But it would be kind of cool if maybe they did another online event for quote unquote real athletes, like with some sort of payout, I know there's a lot there. I just want to find ways for you guys to make more money
and like wish is the wrong word. I hope Zalos Games continues to get some traction because like I made $1,500 in 4 minutes doing some wall walks and deadlifts. Like that was awesome. And then I didn't make money the next week, but other athletes got the opportunity to, and I'm not going to let them have that opportunity next week. But like, if they can get some traction and continue to grow, like athletes will continue to be able to make money and the prize purse for those workouts will get bigger. And the cool part about the format is like, you can sign up for one workout. Like if you see it and it's like, oh, I'm going to crush that one. Like you just have to commit to that one and it doesn't have to affect your training at all.
Yeah. $20.
I love that. I love that for you guys because you're in the middle of obviously like cycles and important training patterns and you don't want to mess that up.
Yep.
I hear there's real money in foot photos if you wanted to go that route.
Ain't that the truth? Unless you're conned into them, then you give them up for free.
Flintstone feet over here.
Hey,
hey, there's probably a market for that.
Probably.
Oh my God. Wait, can I tell you guys? I didn't say this out loud to you yet, John. I got an email from OnlyFans. I could not make this up. And it was a rep and she was like, hey, like saw you on Instagram, like you have a great following, whatever. Have you considered an OnlyFans? It's like a really great way for people like athletes and people in sport to make money. And there was like a link to like, how athletes can use OnlyFans, quote unquote. And I was like, I don't even know how many ways can I say no? Like, I don't even know where to start by being like, wait, so much nope city. I'm all set.
I think you should do it, but only do nose photos and we'll call it Nosely Fans. How about that?
Nosely Fans. And it'll just be like, I'll take them like from the side. Like I'll just like
little profile photos.
Right literally. I could not believe that shit. I was like, first of all, how did you get this email address?
Yeah. I think I got an email or a DM. I think it was an email just through the one I have linked on my Instagram.
Right.
And this is the first, it was like subtly weird. It said, hey, I'm looking to buy some used workout gear, specifically used compression shorts. And that's where it got
Pardon?
weird. Yeah. So that was interesting.
So how much did you sell them for?
Right. So how much did you make?
I mean, I also heard like Sam Quant got offered like $500 for one used sock or something. Like people are paying a lot of money for that stuff. So if you want some compression shorts, shoot me a DM.
Yeah, dude, I'll say that on air right now. You guys want socks? I will sell socks all day long. All day long.
Yeah. What do y'all want? I'll sell whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll make that money. Also, wait, side note on this side note, I got another email about like from a company. This is legit. Even the OnlyFans one was legit too, for the record.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like, there was like no way for me to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not making an OnlyFans. Like you're only porn. Like that's all you are.
Yes.
But if you don't, you're having an identity crisis and you think that you're for athletes, like, ugh, I have a Patreon for my podcast. I'm all set.
Right.
Yeah.
But I got another email. This is just yesterday. Oh my God. It's from a company that is like, hey, congratulations on your son. You know, you're a new mom and we want to know if you wanted to rep our brand. And they make like a device that helps strengthen your pelvic floor. Right. So it looks like a dildo. Like it's basically just a dildo, right? And you stick it up there and it's Bluetooth. I could not make this shit up, you guys. Bluetooth to your phone, and there's a game on your phone. And when you squeeze your pelvic floor, i.e. do a Kegel, and the thing is in, then like your little bird like goes up on the game and like you
So it's
watch
like
it
Flappy
on your
Bird.
phone.
It's like Flappy Bird.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally, but with your vagina. And I was like, I showed it to Matt and I'm like, can you imagine if I turned, like, if I said yes to these people and it was just like me on my Instagram, like holding it up, being like, this is my new product. Go,
Yeah, how do you advertise
code
that?
Nikki 15. Like,
The
just
worst
like
part,
it's a picture of like me basically holding a dildo. Can you imagine?
the worst part is Matt's a gamer, so he's probably like going, I want to play the game though. Like,
Literally. It was like, well, but what do the graphics look like?
yeah, it was.
I'm not putting that thing in.
You make it
Get
for
outta here.
PlayStation. They make that for PlayStation 5. Like,
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this, I know they're being serious, but like, can you imagine my followers? Like, can't you guys?
You could just post it like April 1st. All your followers will think it's a joke. You get the money.
And I'll actually make money.
yeah. I think you should do it.
Oh,
I don't get any DMs like this. I'm feeling very left out all of a sudden.
really?
Yeah, no one asks for my compression shorts. No one gives me a dildo game. I don't get any of this.
I'm so sorry. Well, you get some sweet kicks from Innovate.
Dallin's right now going, what did I sign up for? How did I get on this show?
How did I get on this
No, this is
podcast?
awesome.
What the heck is
I couldn't
going
make
on?
this stuff up, you guys. I really couldn't. I'm gonna send you a link to this. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's real. We posted in the show notes. They sponsor the show all of a sudden.
Oh my
Please
God.
don't.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So I do want to know, like, outside of the CrossFit stuff, what are you doing these days? Like, you guys, you know, you've obviously been to Florida. Like, you're looking around where you're going to be. Like, what are you going to do for fun down there outside of working out 24/7?
Yeah, I'm stoked about that part too. I mean, Thursdays we have plans. We'll swim in the morning. I'll go out to breakfast, do some programming and stuff, and then my coach just bought a boat, so we'll go sit at the beach and go on some boat rides and hang out in the ocean. So we'll do that for fun. Golfing. Naples has like more golf courses than anywhere else in the world. If you pull up a map, it's like there's golf courses everywhere. It's crazy. And I've really been getting into that. So golfing and boating and hanging out, eating good food.
It's the South. Have you been to Cracker Barrel yet? This is going to be the important question we need to know.
You know, I don't think I've ever been to Cracker Barrel, but after seeing like Facundo at Mayhem, like
I know.
that's all they do. So I think I need to try it.
It's, I mean, you know, you look at it like the whole Mayhem crew's there all the time. It can't be bad for you.
Exactly.
Tasia told us on the podcast that we recorded with her just the other day that Facundo, when he's in town, he eats at Cracker Barrel like literally morning, noon, and night. Like he'll go like 15 times in a trip that he's
He
there.
made their website. They put him on their
Right.
Instagram page. That's how
No
much they love
way.
him.
That's awesome.
That's when you know you've made it. When you get on
Yes.
Cracker Barrel's Instagram page, you have made it.
Famous.
Famous.
That doesn't even surprise me that Facundo made that.
I
Like,
know.
That's so him. Like, he's awesome.
We should get him on the show. I'm gonna text him right now before I forget.
Yeah, I ran into him at the games and chatted with him, and I tried to talk. He was with Spencer,
Mhm.
and I was trying to I was trying to talk him into getting a pan check team together. He's like, you know which team I coach, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm just busting your balls, man. Come on, I know who you are. Like everybody knows who you are.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. He's such a good dude.
Well, I'm excited for it.
He's
Florida's
the international man of mystery.
He really is.
Yes.
Florida would be a fun place for you guys, like especially as newlyweds and having all your friends around. There's so much fun stuff to do down there. It's
Yep.
As long as you can deal with the heat and some of the craziness that comes along with it.
Gators. Yeah. No,
Gators.
I mean, Naples is such a cool place to live too. Like I've only been there once. We're gonna go again in 2.5 weeks, so Corinne can actually see it. But yeah, we're gonna go explore for 2 days, so we have a little better idea. But it's gonna be awesome.
It's going to be tough for your family being that many time zones away. Have you prepped them for that yet?
Yeah, I don't know what we can do to prep them, but my parents are coming to Wadapalooza, and some of her family's also coming, and then they're gonna come hang out for a couple days. I think my whole family is gonna come out for spring break and hang out, and so we've got plans to see them.
Are your little siblings like freaking out that you're gonna be gone?
The one that's just younger than me, he's a little annoyed because we're tight. And then I don't think my younger siblings, my 2 sisters, have fully grasped the idea yet. But that'll be hard.
Yeah, that'll be tough. I love your whole family is just like, they light up my life. There was like
They're the best.
50 of you guys at West Coast Class. My favorite ever clip that I like went back and like, I always rewatch the broadcast after we air it. And I like did a hit, like sitting in the middle of like the little Pepper, like there's like 17 rows of family members and just like super pregnant me. Like, look, it takes a village. They're all here. Back to you guys.
No, yeah, that was awesome.
Loved it.
How's your dad's deadlift these days? Last time you were on, you told a story of him just walking in while you were deadlifting, not warmed up, wearing boots, just comes in, casually lifts what you're struggling to get, and then walks out of the room. How's he doing these days?
If we walked into the gym today, I could outlift him, but I still have not matched his 550 deadlift he did a few years ago. So he still technically has me, but he's toned it down a little bit. Because last time he deadlifted heavy and like really pushed it, he almost made me drive him to the hospital, and I didn't have my driver's license yet just because his head was going to explode. So he's kind of avoided that.
Oh, I love parents that lift with their kids, because you guys get stronger so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent who had a kid that passed them at some point, at least in running, it's humbling when your kid passes you, because you get used to beating them. Like, I don't know what your dad's like, but I never let my kid win anything.
Nope, never.
Ever. And the first time she beat me in a foot race, I was distraught. And it wasn't even close. It was like she'd been running track for a while and she was doing AAU, and I had not run with her for a few months. And in a span of like 3 months, we went from where I would beat her soundly to where not only was she beating me, she's like looking over her shoulder and kind of slowing down so I would catch up, just humiliating me. Oh, it was so bad. As long as I live, I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
I think that builds character. I have an older brother who's 9 years older than me, and he was like that with me too. Never let me win in anything ever. Never, ever. Even though and I would play this but I'm the baby, or but I'm cute, or but I'm a girl, and not a damn thing, not in sports, not in card games, not in anything. And I think that builds character. I think it teaches you how to be smarter and faster and stronger and whatever. You want it, you earn it.
Yep.
Period.
I agree.
Yeah.
So of your training crew, you or Emma, who's winning the games first?
Oh my. Emma kicks my butt in every workout.
Does she?
Like,
Okay, well then, easy answer.
We'll be honest. Like, I'm gonna say me because like I want to win first. Well, we always talk like there's a spot for each of us on top of the podium.
I agree with that.
But oh my goodness, we like the last time we went out for a camp last December, and this is the one that sticks out. Well, there's two of them. We did a 27, 21, 15, 9 echo bike thruster. I beat her in the workout overall, but she held the same wattage on the echo bike as me, and I'm twice her size. So to put that into perspective, we did another workout. It was 50 power snatch, 40 box jumps on a high box, 30 devil's press, and 20 heavy overhead squats. It was like 185, 125 for the women-ish. And she finished the overhead squats unbroken before I even got to them. So
what?
And then she goes and says, I'm not super happy with that effort. I feel like I really could have sped up on whatever part. And we all like are like looking around because she beat us by 3 minutes, and she's unbelievable. So I'm excited to get pushed from her.
I think that training dynamic's really important. I mean, you saw it with Matt and Tia for years, of having someone to push you. And I don't think it has to be male, female necessarily, but I think it's a dynamic that certainly works. And particularly if that person has something that you want to chase or be like Emma, to your point, has that gear in her. I saw it in her at Granite Games where she's kind of fearless. Like she made a couple of mistakes at Granite Games because she was going for it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And she just only made the mistakes because she just had never like been in that moment. I think anyway, but you could see that glimmer in her of like, this is someone that is not scared of anything. And that's what happens with champions.
Yes. And she will go to failure in every movement if she has to. Like if she decides she's going to do that many reps, she will go to, it's crazy. Like people give up way before they go to failure, like myself included, like, oh, I'm going to break so I can, she's like fearless. Like you said, it's crazy. And yeah,
I think you have that too, though. Don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying about, you'll break, but I watched you at Vegas. Like you go hard, you go real hard, like dangerously hard.
I think we can definitely both teach each other. Like my coach and I have talked, like I'm pretty methodical in the way I do things. We had a different athlete that I trained with for a little bit, like full send on almost every workout. And I needed to learn how to do that. And now I have. And so I think we've kind of hit the balance where if I just need to go, I can, and I have no problem doing that. But also I know myself as an athlete where I can almost reach failure, but still get the best score I can.
Well, I think it's a great pairing for you guys, and having James there too. And the rest of the crew, obviously, like
really, people ask like, how is that training dynamic going to be? Like we saw with comp train, it didn't, like, I don't think it's anything to do with the camp. I just think it coincidentally, they all didn't have the season they were hoping for, but like everyone's asked like, well, won't you get burnt out or anything like that? But me and James have already established, like, we're great training partners. Phil, we do all the same workouts on Friday. It's brutal Friday workouts. And like, I already know that's going to be a good dynamic. And then of course with Emma, she's not my direct competitor, but the atmosphere, the four of us, and including Ethan, 5 of us have already, like, there shouldn't be any issues.
No, I think the fear of burnout actually goes away when you're all there and you're living there and you're dedicated to it. Then you really start to like pull in other aspects of like days off and rest days, active recovery, and like you're all in it to win it. So it's like much more, I don't know, it's just so much more dialed in. Like I would be worried more about burnout if you were just like from afar trying to keep up with each other on different days at different times. Like that's hard.
I've been training alone for what, six years now ish, and I think I'm ready for something new, so it'll be good.
It's not fun to train alone.
Well, I think I needed to like Matt and Tia, they both put in that time of training alone, and I've learned what I needed to, and I'll continue. Like I'll go in and do a workout by myself just so I can keep that feeling there, but I think now I'll excel more with other people. So
I'll be interested to see what all these training, there's so many of these training camps forming, and I'm with you. Like, I think the the comp train group probably just had a bad year. And
Mhm.
I wonder over time if we're going to come to realize that Matt was just a freak and that Tia is just a freak.
Yes.
And that, because it feels to me like all of the camps, yours included, are all real close. Like I don't, I hear the people you're talking about that are in your camp, yourself included, and I don't feel that your group's lesser than comp train. And you're talking
Yeah.
Chandler Smith and Amanda Barnhart, some of the standouts in the sport.
Yeah.
I'll just be interested to see how that works out over time. To your point, if you see people burn out, will you see someone emerge from that group to be a 5-time champion, or will it all kind of even out? And it just kind of depends on what the programming at that event looks like. Kind of like, I don't know, golf is a good example of a circuit where you'll have just kind of anybody could win any weekend as long as you're in that top group.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, my money's on you, dude, for whatever that's worth.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Samesies.
We aren't here to mess around. So
That's right.
Have you figured out though how you're gonna get that femur surgery? Because I still think you're 6 inches too tall for the sport. Like,
I am 6 feet
Fact.
tall, and yeah, I've heard the talk about it, but honestly, that was something I thought about way too much this season. So I'm already different athlete mentally and physically from semifinals. So we'll be ready.
I don't think it's a big. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. Not that helps me in CrossFit, but
Yeah.
I think there are certainly movements in the sport that you get a benefit for being 5'6".
Oh, absolutely.
But
Most
Just like
of
any
them.
sport.
yeah, but there are a lot of things you're going to get a benefit to. You're a big
I
dude.
think-
Like,
People forget how big Patrick Vellner is. Like
yeah,
everyone's like, oh, you
Yes.
need to be short. And then it's like Vellner and Fikowski, top of the game, like consistently. Vellner's a big dude.
yeah.
He's not small. Yeah, that's true.
Justin's
true.
not small. Like
No.
none
Also
of the top
true.
three. None of the top three were little this year at all. Like when I looked at the top 5, the only one that I thought was small was Saxon. Truthfully, like,
Yeah.
and he's not short. He's just 175 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the sport's getting bigger, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I'm just jerking your chain because you're
No.
Getting bigger, but
well, just making fun because you can see over everyone's head in the crowd at a CrossFit event, which is great.
Yeah.
It is weird. Like you see all the top guys. Like I got to compete with Sager and Noah and Sweeney. Like you see them on TV and stuff, and it's like, oh, they're like big dudes. And then I like went up next to them. I'm like, oh, I am a lot bigger than you.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Dude, I feel the same way. Like I don't obviously don't run those circles. I ran into Noah at the games. It was at an ice cream shop when we were downtown somewhere. And he just comes walking around a corner and I'm like, Noah, and it took him a second to recognize me and he gave me a hug and I'm like, this dude is little. Like
yes.
his face is in my chest like he's my daughter, patting him on the head. I'm like, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I think I weighed significantly more than most of those athletes when I was pregnant at games.
Yeah, it's
there's 2 people. It doesn't count.
I mean, there's 2 people and 9 months of carbs, but yeah. There's 2 people. One of them was only 5.5 pounds. So,
Well, before we wrap up, anything you want to shout out? You got your programming, like anything you wanting to direct people to. Where can they find you? Any of that?
With programming, there's going to be some changes. I'm definitely going in on the athlete side of things, but I'm not going away from programming. So stay tuned on that. We're figuring that out right now, doing some details with the Brute Strength crew. So stay tuned there. And then my Instagram is just Dallin Pepper. And yeah, shout out to my wife and my family, of course. So
I love it.
Look how nice you are. You're too nice.
I just saw her walk past the window. It reminded me.
Oh,
that's it. Of course. Right.
There you go. All right. Well, it's been fun as always. We will not wait another 160 episodes to have you back on.
Deal.
Better yet, we're going to have you on next year when you win the games. How about that?
Perfect.
Yay!
I'll plan on it. Put it in the schedule.
All right. That'll work. Nikki, great to see you as always. We didn't even talk about the baby tonight, so we'll have to catch up later on the baby.
Deal.
All right. For everyone listening, we appreciate you guys joining us, and we will chat with you soon.